Welcome to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. Over 90% of today's home buyers start their buyer journey online. Here we talk with not only industry experts, but also your fellow home builder marketers to learn how you can succeed in our incredibly competitive digital world. And now, here are your hosts, Bray and Kevin Weitzel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Outhouse.
And today is a very special episode, everybody, because Kevin and I are just fresh off of the 2025 Home Builder Digital Marketing Summit. And we are so pumped. It was so awesome. And we just want to share some of that enthusiasm and excitement. I mean, Kevin, just big reaction. How was it?
It was freakishly fantastic. We had a great population of people there. We had fantastic sponsors. The topics and the general commentary was freakishly fantastic. On top of that, our roundtables were the bee's knees.
I think you got freakishly fantastic into multiple times into one
I did.
Paragraph. So that's
It was
awesome.
so freakishly fantastic. I have to say it now a third time. Plus, I got your bonus fourth. But check this out. Here's the crazy thing about these sessions is that we have the gift, I guess the blessing, whatever word you want to put on top of it, of our sponsors not just being sponsors, but returning sponsors. Every year, our sponsors want to come back because they get so much out of the interactions that they have with the builders. I think the intimate setting of the summit that we put on is advantageous, not just to those learning, but also the conversations you can have with a sponsor, and not just them trying to sales pitch and sell you something, but literally learning from what they have to put forward, whether or not it's something that can lead to business with them or not. You know, they're willing to give you that information. That is a major benefit of the interaction here, whereas you're not being sold to.
Absolutely. I love the fact everybody's there to just be helpful, supportive, collaborative, and all of that. And I guess, Kevin, before we dive into this, in the interest of content warnings that people put out on content, we need to warn people that there is a good chance that this episode is going to make somebody feel really bad that they didn't go. And so I'm sorry, we're not trying to make people feel bad, but there's a good chance that they may feel really bad that they didn't go after they hear all about this.
Yeah, fact.
So for those who didn't go, we were in Atlanta. We had 2 days of some amazing speakers. We had some breakout tracks, lots of great stuff. So we started off with an amazing kickoff presentation and conversation that I was able to have with Alicia Azali, who is the CMO of Beezer Homes. Alicia shared some of the things that they are doing to take the brand at Beezer and really find how they can better connect with their buyers and create that customer experience that goes well beyond just the idea of who we are and what we're selling. It was really fascinating to listen to her and learn about that. Alicia was so willing to share so openly. There's not this worry about I'm giving away my secrets or any of those kinds of things. It was just a fantastic conversation from a very large builder who has a lot going on, and she gave her time freely to us.
I actually love the fact that she said that it isn't just about brand. It's about telling the brand story, because we all build homes. It use the same nails and the same 2x4s, use the same drywall products, yada, yada, yada. But that it's about what you do to include yourself into the communities that you build, what you do to infuse yourself into our society as a whole, that it really is more than just that we build homes.
Absolutely. And that brand is all about that story, who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it. She shared some examples of that. When we had that initial presentation, Kevin, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter what else happens the next 2 days. We're done. We've accomplished our mission. We've had valuable insights and content for sure.
I think we've hit a home run every year with our keynotes. I don't think we've ever had that could have been better. They've all been fantastic.
I agree. It sets a high bar for next time, but we'll strive for it. Absolutely. And of course, after Alicia, we had the opportunity to learn more about Homes.com. They were our diamond sponsor this year. We really appreciate their support. So they had an opportunity to share more about what they are doing with their new construction platform. We learned a lot about all the time they've been investing in really getting that user interface very customer friendly and focused. And so for those who are not yet paying attention to what Homes.com is putting out there, it's free to list and the leads are free. So you might as well check it out and figure out how to get your homes on there.
And I don't know if it's their tagline or not, but their tagline of your listings, your leads. I think that resonated through the entire room with every builder that was there.
I agree. I agree. So, Kevin, we then had some breakout tracks. And of course, this year, for the first time, we added a leadership track. So, Kimberly Mackey from New Homes Solutions was the leader on that. I did not get a chance to step into those sessions, but did you have any feedback or anything you heard from people that attended
I
Kimberly's?
did. Again, nothing but positive feedback. I did get into one of the sessions where they were reviewing report cards of secret shopping. I think it was basically all studies of the builders that were in attendance. So it was pretty eye-opening. It was insanely accurate and scary in some cases. We had one, and I won't mention their name, but we had one where they actually said, well, you had this call, but no follow-up past that point. And then one of the other people said, well, that's okay. And the person that it was about said, no, it's not. That is highly unacceptable. And we will be getting to the bottom of this. I thought it was incredible. But everybody, they were eyes front. I know for a fact that their tracks all ran a little long because the attendees didn't want it to stop. So, they got shorter lunches, they got shorter breaks, all because of them being enthralled in what Kimberly had to say.
Yeah, it really is great to see these people so engaged and learning. I guess probably the frustration is that there just wasn't more time to dig in deeper. We only got 2 days, got to deal with lots of different things. And that's part of what we're trying to accomplish with this summit is small groups that can get together, talk and learn from each other, but also making sure that we have more shorter presentations instead of a few really long ones, because I feel like making sure we cover lots of different topics. And I know some people feel like, gosh, I wish you could have gone deeper into X, Y, and Z. We got a little bit of that on some of the feedback forms. And I hear you, but that's not our goal here. Our goal is to make sure that we give something to everybody that can be useful. And yeah, if you want to continue the conversations later, by all means, let's keep them going after.
We also had the OSCs. The OSCs had their track, and Leah was leading that off. And I think she had Heidi Schrader from Lasso in doing a few sessions as well.
Yeah, and Leah Fellows with Blue Gypsy Inc. If people don't know Leah, she's been with us now. This is her 3rd year with us doing this OSC track. We are really excited about the opportunities that it gives to connect the marketing team with the online sales counselors. It's all about that lead flow, because when the lead hits the website and goes to the OSC, it's not done. It often comes back to the website again. They use the website to help nurture and move that lead through their buying journey. And so it's really important that these teams are talking to each other. Then our primary track, of course, is the marketing track, all about digital marketing. I know, Kevin, this is one of your favorite speakers. I'm just going to let you go after him.
Cade Vincent from your very own Blue Tangerine. The guy's awesome. His content always has eyeballs locked on him from beginning to end. It's enviable how much of an industry expert that he is and his ability to convey his thoughts to the audience. I wish I had half his skills, to be honest with you, because it is truly enviable how good he is.
Well, and he was talking about SEO, especially in this AI world. It's funny, Kevin, I had a builder share with me a thought after Cabe's presentation during the break. They said, I'm not sure I understand everything Cabe was telling us, but I know that Cabe understands it, and I know we're in good hands because Cabe's working on our SEO. That's like, okay, well, maybe we'll have to make sure you feel comfortable understanding it all, but I'm glad that you feel good that Cabe knows what he's doing.
What a great testimonial. I love it.
So we also have the opportunity in multiple presentations, including this one where we had panels of builders and others that are not sponsors, are not quote unquote selling anything, but are just there to share. Emily Siles from New Home Source put together a panel with Celeste Horton from Classica Homes, and then also Robin Haberly from NAHB, which is kind of a different angle to get to these insights on how you can connect with today's digital buyer.
What's funny about Robin, not funny, haha, but just funny, peculiar, is that a lot of people just see him as a figurehead in the NHB. But honestly, he's got 20 years of selling history in the home building industry. So he brings a lot to the table, more so than just making sure that people are attending the International Builder Show.
Yeah, somebody mentioned to me that he made some great comments at some of the roundtables as well. So it's great to hear what these folks are doing and seeing out there that's from the builder perspective. And I think that's what attendees really appreciate so much. So of course, Kevin, our most popular feature of this event every year, and again, the feedback this year, no different, are roundtable breakouts. Tell us about your experience with the roundtables. You got to lead one and what you've heard others say about them.
So what the roundtable is, for people that didn't get a chance to attend, is where the sponsors, some of the speakers host a table and they host a theme. And that theme is basically just more of a kicking off point where all of the people that sign up for that table can discuss their inner workings, their pros, their cons, what they've found, what they've discovered, their wins, their losses, and really collaborate with each other. The best thing about this and the feedback that we get is that people almost wish they were longer because they get so much out of them. Finding out what your peers are doing, what they're not doing is radically beneficial.
And I think too, it's not just in the moment, but I think people make genuine connections that they're able to leverage later after the event, where they meet people and they get together, maybe virtually with a Zoom call or a phone call, but they are talking afterwards. They now have somebody that's, hey, you're in a similar type of situation as I am, and we can share ideas and I can bounce things off you and you can share with me and we can collaborate. And so often, marketing departments, and especially as a regional builder, it's just a couple people. And they don't have a lot of opportunities to kind of see what else is out there other than just looking at what the builders around them might be doing. And to be able to share ideas before you have to go all the way into implementation can be really powerful.
Well, especially when you look at the fact that at your table, you might have a builder that has 8 state representation of communities that they're building and selling in, versus maybe you might only have one community that you're building in, but you can glean and learn so much from that other experience. And oddly enough, the story from that single builder can also share some valuable information to those that have a much larger reach because, again, PT boat versus battleship, they both turn, but one takes a lot more effort to get moving.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, we had Josh Rainham in the afternoon talking about paid media, and he gave like a blueprint of how you go through getting ready to use your media budget in an effective way. And so often we see builders just throwing money at Google or others just trying to figure it out. Josh talked about that strategy and the things you need to have in place first and the tracking you need and all of that to make sure that this money's being spent. But I'll tell you, Kevin, I picked up something that I had never known about that Josh threw out there. He talked about advertising on Spotify as a platform. I have never had people talk about opportunities on Spotify before. So it was like, hey, new for me. These are the kinds of things that happen when you're there talking about, more generic platform opportunities.
Wait 1 minute. So you're telling me that somebody could be on Spotify, downloading and listening to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast, and then at the same time be receiving an ad from a builder?
I think that's what he was telling us. I haven't done it yet. I don't know how that works. We're going to have to call Josh and figure it out.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing that was pretty cool about Josh is that he didn't dethrone Cabe. Cabe is still the number one. I think in Phoenix, we had to go about an extra 5 minutes of just questions for Cabe. But he does get the award for most questions this year for a session.
That's right. That's right. And you were tracking that. They made you run around with that mic back and forth.
I did. I heard there were bets, and shame on you people for betting on this. I heard there were bets that as I was running across the room and kind of diving between tables, that I was going to wipe out and fall down. Number one, I did not wipe out and fall down. So whoever bet against me, you can kiss my butt because I didn't do it. I didn't fall. So I hope that you actually put real money on it and lost.
Well, of course, no digital summit would be good without some social media conversations. And so we did have Courtney Stewart and Melissa Walcott from Denim Marketing talking about some of the successful things you can do on social media and some of the things you should not do. It's always amazing how many people do the things that you should not do, even still today.
I love when they're listing the do's and don'ts and you see the guilty eyeballs looking down or looking around thinking, does anybody know that I'm actually still doing these don'ts?
Yeah, I think one of their bad examples they shared was from Steak and Shake, tried to do some leverage in some way related to that Cracker Barrel logo thing that happened not too long ago. The examples is like, why are you doing this on your social media, just trying to trash this other company instead of talking to people about who you are? So I think the big don't try to be negative about other people. That's just not nice. It's not helpful.
All right. So I had the honor of closing out the day, at least the presentations, with the always freakishly fantastic, and yes, I use freakishly fantastic again, Chris Thornton of Ashton Woods, Dusty Talbert of the Providence Group, and Jamie Godwin out of Coulter Group. It was rock star central. These people are all very well decorated, have earned their positions, have so much data and information to give. And it was nothing but that. It was just nothing but their successes, their wins, their do's, their don'ts, their recommendations. It was awesome.
I like the fact, Kevin, that you have builders of different sizes and locations, right? They're all coming at it from a little bit different. So many of the challenges are similar, but yet they are unique based on size often in the way they need to approach it. Did you have any one big aha moment in that conversation?
Yeah, Chris had probably the most poignant statement, and I would be butchering his quote, but it was basically along the lines of if you aren't using your data to make decisions, you are setting yourself up for failure. That data is there for a reason. You pay good money for it. It is statistically sound. Use that to your advantage. Builders that don't, your days are numbered. I mean, he was pretty adamant about it.
Well, and of course, no event's any good without a nice little party in the evening. We did try to get everybody together for a little reception. It was a little warm out, I admit it. Okay, so for those of you who are complaining it was too hot, you never know in Atlanta in September, right? It can be hot, it can be beautiful. It was beautiful a few days later. We just missed it. The weather
Yes.
just didn't cooperate quite right. But hey, we still had a good time, some good food and drink, and enjoyed each other's company.
Oh, yeah.
Day two, we always have our Audience Town sponsors that put together our 5K fun run for us. And Kevin, I believe you didn't quite make it to the 5K.
I didn't, yeah. I had good intentions of at least showing up just to root them on and hold my caramel-filled coffee, but I chose to stay in my cozy little bed.
For me, it's just the wrong time of day, right? I've got to get over to the summit and get ready to go. So it didn't work out, but I'm claiming that I run a lot. I don't run a lot. So, but we appreciate them trying to provide that. And I know a few people took advantage of it and they're healthier for it. We're proud of them. We're proud of them.
But you know what my favorite session was on day two? You're not even going to believe me when I tell you this, Greg.
I'm not going to believe you.
It was none other than you, sir. Greg Bray of Blue Tangerine. Practical website personalization strategies that move buyers from browsing to belonging.
It wasn't the shortest title we could have come up with. I admit that.
Now, you got to work on your titles. We're the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. You
Yeah.
need to shorten up these titles somehow.
It was a topic that I have not really spoken on before. I was really interested personally in learning more about it and how to apply it, and learned a lot just getting ready for it. I hope there were some ideas there about how we can better connect with the website visitor by showing them something that is very relevant to them individually. Not that we necessarily know exactly who they are, but based on what we know about them, how we can tailor their experience on the website so that there's a better connection of the content they're seeing and this next step that makes sense for them.
Being somebody that has a hard time paying attention is just a personal flaw that I have. I really appreciate that you bring a personal subject matter that's outside of building into subject. So last year, I still won't forget it. It was about the bridge. I love that you tie in an outside concept and then string it all back together. It's almost like you might be a professional at this stuff.
I don't know about a professional, but I do try. And just for those who are there, my name is Greg, not Gary.
Yes, you're not Gary.
Well, Kevin, this other session, we did it a couple years ago. We didn't do it last year, and then we brought it back because it was so popular. We had the Blue Tangerine team of Cabe, Corey, and Mila that did 15 tools in 15 minutes. The pens were flying. People were just writing these down, and it's amazing how much insight you can get from just learning what other people use or have tried.
Yeah, just scribbling away. I'm surprised the paper didn't catch on fire with all the notes that are being taken.
Well, that's why we give people these big notebooks. So they have lots of pages to do that. So Patrick Johnson at Rilla is the first time speaker with us this year. Talked a lot about how sales is something that requires coaching to do it well. And the idea of how some of the things they've learned in their research and their coaching that people can use to help improve their sales team responses and how they work. And I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways was when they looked at higher performing sales team members compared to lower performing, there was a huge difference in the talk to listen ratio times. High performers listened a lot more than the lower performers did.
Yeah, it was insightful. Yeah. Well, luckily, John Perigine from Audience Town recovered from his run that morning because he hosted a pretty fantastic panel with Lisa Welter of JTB and Intera Homes, Matthew Wilson over at Miranda, and Melissa Servin at Lombardo Homes.
All three of these builders, again, were very open, very willing to share, just kind of talked about how they approach things, how they do it. You see, even Melissa as an example of someone who's like, yeah, call me later, happy to talk. She put that out there at the end. And I think they all would do that as well. But just this idea of this community is so willing to support each other. And she's just really an example of that.
I loved her comment where she said, not to date her, but she said she's been doing this for over 20 years. And she said that she can learn from this summit. She actually says it's her favorite summit. So, boom, thank you, Melissa. She says it's her favorite summit because she learns from everybody. And she said that she spent so much of her career, regretfully, not willing to raise her hand and ask questions. So that was her advice that she gave to people is raise hands, get those questions asked, get those questions answered. Don't be afraid to not be the person that doesn't know in the room because guess what? There's always somebody in the room that doesn't know. And then there's some that do.
If you aren't willing to admit that you don't know everything, how can you learn? You can't learn. We did some more roundtables on day 2. So everybody got to do 4 different conversations, which I think really gives them a wide variety because we had 14 different topics to choose from in these roundtables, Kevin. I think it's the most we've had. I think last year we just had 12. I think we had 14 tables this year, different topics that people could choose from to find the group they're looking for and the things they're interested in. Again, very active. Part of my job is when the first period's up and I have to get people to move to the next one. It's like I have to announce it 4 times. People, come on, move to your next table. They won't go. They just keep talking.
Absolutely. Well, we had a treat this year, Greg. You wrangled in somebody from Fiddlehead. Who'd you bring over?
So Melinda Byerly is fantastic. She was so willing to support us and help us with this event. She is not in the home building industry. She is someone who is on the cutting edge of how marketers can use AI in their ongoing content creation processes. And she gave a fantastic presentation talking about strategies to improve your prompting, how to focus on which tools to use, ways that you can identify where in your process it might make sense to leverage AI. Just a very genuine, complimentary, great person. It was a pleasure to hang out with her.
Well, not only that, but I hope that people realize the gift that we got with her. She's typically a keynote level speaker. She's somebody that is paid to present at various events, and she gifted us just by being there. That's how she makes her living. She chose to make our event one of her key stops that she's going to do. I loved it.
It was fantastic content, fantastic information for sure. Well, of course, we can't come to a conclusion without mentioning Kimberly and Leah one more time. They came together on the main stage outside of the breakout tracks as well to talk about sales and marketing getting together and being on the same page. And frankly, Kevin, some of their horror stories that they told about people doing it wrong were just shocking. How do these companies stay in business when they are that out of touch with what's going on?
And they weren't talking about 1984. They're talking about today. That's the crazy part. You can go to every different summit that's out there. You can read every book you want. But if you're still making the same mistakes over and over again, that's insanity.
Leah and Kimberly are people that are in the day-to-day with their clients and seeing what happens at these builders, between the sales team leadership and the OSCs. And so they know what works and what doesn't. It was great to get those ideas and those insights from them for sure. Kevin, for those who weren't there, you also have to know we have a lot of fun at this summit. And we enjoyed some fun games, and we had a lot of prizes this year from our sponsors to give away. It was crazy. We had some very valuable prizes. We had a drone that was worth $1,100 that Homes.com was giving away. We had Meta glasses from New Home Source.
Jealous of that.
I know. I kept wanting to say, where's the contest for the most favorite host? So that one of us could win that.
Yeah, hosts and sponsors can't win, but man, I wouldn't have wanted those. Maybe I just have to go buy them, I guess.
So, but we had some trivia games where people had to check out their digital marketing and their analytics skills. And then, of course, how well they knew our sponsors and the things that they offered. I do have to say this, though, Kevin, on the Google Analytics Smackdown, I was a little disappointed. People were not knowing their Google Analytics as well as they should in this industry. So I'm putting it out there, people. Next year, you better know your Google Analytics a little bit better.
There were some scary results on that one. Very scary results. All right, so our leadership track hosted by Kimberly Mackey of New Home Solutions. Our OSC track hosted by Blue Gypsy Inc. We co-hosted, Blue Tangerine and Outhouse co-hosted the entire event. Again, thanks to your brainiac activity of coming up with this concept back in 2019. First one was in Kansas City. You've done it annually ever since, and we've been honored to be your partner. But you know what? Guess what is the absolute part, the ingredients that have to happen to make these things work?
Kevin, this stuff costs money. I mean, there's just no way around it, right? These venues, the food, the prizes, all of it costs money. And without our sponsors, without their support, it would not happen. And so we just got to give one more shout out and go through these sponsors. Again, homes.com, our diamond sponsor. Thank you so much for your support and being with us.
Rilla, one of our platinum sponsors.
And newhomesdirectory.com was our other platinum sponsor.
And then we go to New Home Source from Zonda as one of our gold.
And we had ECI Lasso back again as well as a gold sponsor.
Audience Town back again.
First time sponsor with Arcway.
They're a pretty interesting product. We had some good chats with those guys. Conversion from across the pond came over.
A little bit of our international flair for sure. And then gold sponsor LaRouche Photo, who also helped with all our photography and recordings and things. So we're excited to see how that turns out.
Home Builder Ops.
And then our silver sponsors, Lumen.ai was first time sponsor as well.
Enter Now.
And Novi Home.
561 SEM.
And then our beverage sponsor, Denim Marketing.
Oh yeah, gotta love denim marketing. Realtor.com for new construction.
And Sales Uncomplicated.
And of course, our benefactor. We love this charity. It's somebody that we actively participate with and was founded by a home builder, Keystone Custom Homes. Anyway, Homes for Hope.
We love giving Homes for Hope an opportunity to share their mission with everybody because they're doing some great work out there in the world. There's always opportunities for us all to give back, and they make it really easy for builders to give back in a way that works well for them. Well, Kevin, I guess this is always the big question, right? Every year we do this, we're exhausted, it's a lot of work, and you sit there and you go, man, should we do this again next year? Yes, we're doing it again next year, everybody. We're doing it again next year. And so if you are one of those people that's sitting there going, I feel bad, I missed out, here's your chance. Get out your calendar right now, block out the dates, September 23rd and 24th in 2026. And we're going to be in Dallas next year for the first time, Dallas, Texas. So block those dates on the calendar, and we will make sure that when the registration opens for next year, that we let everybody know.
Cowboy hats will not be mandatory. They will be optional.
Belt buckles, however.
Boom. Should we have an award for the biggest belt buckle?
Yeah, maybe we should have a belt buckle contest. Maybe we should do that for next year.
Big roping contest. You better know your Google Analytics, and you also better know how to rope a cattle.
Now we're probably offending somebody with stereotypes, I'm sure. But Kevin, I just want to say thank you to you, your enthusiasm, your energy you bring to the stage, your willingness to run around between tables and hurdle people to make sure they get the mic is so appreciated and so awesome. Without you there by my side, my friend, it would not happen. It would not be as fun. So thank you for your help with this event.
Well, we definitely have some people to thank in the organization in the background. You know, we've got Mila on your team. We've got Jim and Tabitha on our team that do a lot of the behind the scenes work to get all the registration up, to get all the organization done. These events don't happen without them as well. And Greg, I just want to give you a little bit of appreciation. You bring excellence every single year, your professionalism, your expertise, and then on top of that, your willingness and almost voluntary aspect of connecting people, not just connecting the sponsors to builders, but connecting builder to builder, connecting track to track. It's admirable how much you put into this personally. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So again, we would love to have everybody join us again next year. We're going to be back. We're going to try to make it even better. We love this industry, love the willingness of everybody to come and share. They come ready to learn, but also to give. And that's really what makes this such an amazing event, is that people learn from each other. They're not learning from us. We're not standing up there telling them everything they should do. They learn from each other and from the friends that they make. We're so appreciative that everybody comes with that attitude. All right, everybody, again, mark those dates, September 23rd and 24th, 2026, Dallas, Texas. We are excited to see you there. And for now, thank you for listening to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Greg Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Outhouse. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about how Blue Tangerine and Outhouse can help you generate more qualified home buyer leads, visit bluetangerine.com and outhouse.net. If you've enjoyed our show today, please tell a friend, leave us a review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to join us again on the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast,